So we've had some of you guys asking, what is the ideal retirement age for your health? Well, I'm gonna answer that question, so let's dive in. So you're looking for that retirement age for your health, but how do you do it? Like, what is that age in the first place, right? Well, here's the truth, guys. You can actually do it later, like most people are trending towards now, or you can do it younger. By the way, key thing, people are actually, in the last few years, dying earlier by 8 months, but they're actually dying earlier than the people of the previous generation. So how do you do this with your health? And can you even do it sooner? Hang on to the end of this video. I'm actually gonna talk to you about how you could actually do it younger, like when I was able to do it by the time I was 39 years old. Okay, so what is the average, really the ideal retirement age for your health, right? What is that age supposed to be? And really, how's your health tie in with this, right? It's no surprise that many people talk about health is like your new wealth, right? Because why have all this money if you can't live free? I actually watched this firsthand with my dad. My dad, now he was the kind of guy that he would talk about, when he talk about salads, it's called rabbit food, right? He's of that generation, right? Things are rabbit food. Why would I do that? He smoked for 50 years. He ate fast food a lot, like lots of crap food, fatty foods, things that raise his cholesterol. He literally had strokes in his 40s, heart attacks in his 50s. And then through some miracle, I don't know, of stubbornness, which I think I got part of that from him, or whatever it was, this guy is still alive at the age of 80. But he didn't even think he would make it to age 70. In fact, I even remember one time I came home from college. He was actually, when I was walking home, he was actually being wheeled out in an ambulance and this is when he was in his about 60 years old. Actually, not even 60, he was in his late 50s. Being wheeled out in an ambulance, telling me where he stores his cash his little cash stash, right, that he has in a can. He's like, hey, if I die, here's a little cash that you can use at least to help you out. But see ya. That was like the last time I saw him until he came back and, they put stents in his arteries. So like, the thing is, your health is important. And I would definitely recommend, if anything, as a bonus to this video, beyond retirement, is if you're gonna invest anywhere, be sure to invest in your health too. Many people talk about living on rice and beans, right? There's certain people out there that teach that kind of crap out there. Don't live on rice and beans, literally. I actually knew somebody that listened to the Dave Ramsey show, and she called in and she's like, hey, I'm trying to pay off all my debt. I've paid off $90,000 the last 3 years, but it's still not enough. And I'm thinking, wow, that's amazing. You paid off $90,000 in 3 years. You should be happy. But she wasn't quite there yet. She's like, but I'm doing everything you've told me to do, Dave. I've been living on rice and beans, and I've actually been doing this and this. He's like, wait, you're living on rice and beans? She's like, yeah, you say live on rice and beans. I've literally eaten rice and beans for the last 3 years to save money. He's like, what are you talking about? By the way, this is a live show I was listening to. This is not just hearsay. I was listening to this show live. He's like, what do you mean? That's dumb. That's stupid. Like, I didn't mean like just live on rice and beans. You get some vegetables and stuff on that too. Like, that's dumb. And then dead serious, there was dead air time for about 5 seconds. And then you hear the woman say, oh, well, I did. Stop listening to that crappy advice. Stop thinking you have to live on ramen noodles and that's the only way you can live in retirement. You don't have to do that. You can buy organic. You can actually start with the bananas. They're very cheap in comparison to the other bananas. Like, you can start with that kind of stuff. And I know if there's some troll like, oh yeah, that's great advice, Chris. Yeah, it is. Actually, it is. Because it's actually helped me too. It's got me in better health as well, doing those kind of things. So invest in your health first and foremost. Before you worry about sticking your money in the stock market, be sure to take care of you too, because it doesn't matter if you get to that retirement age, like my dad did. I sat down with him as a financial advisor, 61 years old, and I had to tell him, Dad, even though you're debt-free and you've been saving money in your 401k, you would only have money enough for 5 years, and then he got stopped. So he had to keep working into his 70s, and by the time he got to his 70s, he was forced to retire due to health reasons. He didn't have a good enough health to even retire. So it's two things, guys, you gotta have here. One, take care of your health. But two, you gotta take care of your money too. And be sure you do that. Now, what are the ways to actually do that? You could go throw your money in the retirement plans, but they've already been proven they're not working very well. You will be retiring at least in your 60s or 70s if you only rely on your mutual funds. If you're only retiring on your 401ks and IRAs, it won't be enough. I'll tell you why, because I have one client right now, he actually went to his financial advisor and got pissed off. Why? Because his financial advisor said, well, good job, you've now saved $3 million. This guy is 53 years old. He said, you've saved $3 million in your IRAs and 401ks. But if you want to live on that $500,000 a lifestyle, $500,000 a year lifestyle that you want, you're gonna have to keep saving. And this guy was saving $200,000 a year. And he said, well, if things go right and inflation doesn't actually happen, at least not as much as it really is happening, well, then you should be able to do it by the time you're 65 years old. In 13 years, you should be able to do it. And the guy's saying, I don't want to wait 13 years. I got $3 million. Can I do something with it now? How do I get this to $500,000 a year of income? He came to us. He said, how do I do this? I said, well, we got $3 million. Even if you made 10% and you're actually getting passive income, like from real estate, for example, where it's backed by real assets, not hoping that Elon Musk doesn't screw things up and then you lose a bunch of money all of a sudden. If you do that, what will happen is that now you're living on $300,000 a year right away. And if you don't live on that $300,000, guess what you do? You take that $300,000, you add it to your $3 million. Now you have $3.3 million paying you $330,000. And you take that, and then another $200,000. So he's early at $350,000 because he had $500,000 he could save. He's got that $350,000 now. On top of the $200,000, he's got $550,000 to add. Now he's going over $4 million. And next thing you know, within 4 years, he has that $500,000 a year. Not waiting 13 years, like the financial advisor said, if inflation doesn't go up too much. By the way, if you retire in 4 years versus 15 years, you're not worrying about inflation as much, are you? So there's definitely a better way to do it. But if you focus on the passive income versus following the advice of these guys, where they get paid to really sell you crap, not make you more money, right? That's what you don't want to do. Now, here's the other thing too. Now, many people might be looking at it different ways. One thing that's very, very common knowledge is that a lot of times you hear about people that retire, and if they just retire, they die later. Why? They don't have purpose. They don't have meaning. So what we're seeing, especially with the millennial generation, they're actually saying, no, I don't want to have to retire. In fact, I want to keep working, but I want to work on my terms. And I 100% agree with this. I call this work optional. If you have enough passive income coming in to cover all of your bills and expenses, you now are in a place where you're work optional. You work because you want to, not because you have to. It might mean that you might work part-time instead. I've had several dentists that we've worked with where a lot of times they realized that after 2020, when they were shut down, they said, you know what, I've realized I actually don't like not doing anything. I think I actually want to keep working, but I want to work on my own terms. Maybe I want to go in the office 2 days a week. Well, great. If we have enough income coming in to cover your expenses, those 2 days a week is just extra gravy for you. You can go take off that month to go on a vacation or trip with your family. You can do the things that you want, and you don't even have to wait till your 60s or 70s because you got that dumb 401k that penalizes you for touching your money before you're 60 years old. No, you can do other stuff that actually pays you right now, and you can actually make the life on your own terms right now. This is how I was able to retire before I was the age of 40. I did the same thing myself. I got enough passive income coming in that I became work optional. I'm still working today. I actually love the fact that I'm working inside my company. It gives me purpose. It gives me meaning. I know the whole reason we call the company Money Ripples is because the more money you're able to create, the more wealth you create in your life, you can create a ripple effect in the lives of others. Because when you're more financially blessed, you have a greater ability to bless the lives of those around you. That's what I love about what I do. Like that, it gets me to wake up in the morning. I love doing this kind of stuff, right? This is why I'm more of a teacher and that kind of thing. I'm not the one that has to work on my business all the time. I'm focusing more on just leading my company, getting the message out so that you also have that same hope in your own life. And you can do so much more than just take care of your own family. If you're in a place of financial freedom, it's not just your family you can take care of, but now you can actually make a difference in the world. You can actually benefit the lives of those around you instead of just sucking and consuming, being another person that says, hey, I wish the government would just pay me income every month so I can just live off that and not have to worry about working. That's not what you want. We don't want entitled people here. By the way, if you're one of those people, get off my channel. I don't want you on this Money Ripples channel. You suck, okay? I'm going to say it, but it's true. We don't want entitled people because you're just going to drain off the rest of us. I want some of you that actually say, hey, I want freedom in my life and I want it on my own terms and I'm willing to actually work and fight for it because freedom is worth fighting for. Not just with the military, it's worth fighting for in your own life too. That's the kind of life that you should be living. That's how you can actually retire and your health works better. And by the way, having more passive income helps with that because I've been able to afford more things, helping my health improve. I actually get to hire the right doctors. I get to hire the right specialists and people that help me out actually slow down my aging process, literally, right? You know, some people, my kids will say otherwise. My kids will say, you're like a grandpa because you got gray in your beard. I'm like, well, I'm 47 years old. Yes, I don't look like Tom Brady, even though he's a month older than me, but I'm not horrible either, guys, okay? By the way, Tom Brady also affords those kind of health things to keep him looking younger too, right? That's what Chris Hemsworth is doing, right? Thor is doing those same kind of things. Now he's 43 years old or 40 years old trying to do the same stuff, right? Those are all things you can actually start doing to keep yourself in better health because you afford the better foods, the better health care, the better things in your life to create more freedom, which allows you to enjoy your money longer. And the great thing is you can still keep doing what you love, whatever that looks like, whatever side hustle or passion project you want to do, whatever service you want to do. Maybe you want to go and serve people and go to other countries and help them out because they're struggling financially. They don't know how to survive. You can literally feed thousands upon thousands of people all because you chose today to do something different by creating that financial freedom now. But it requires you to do something different. It requires you not to follow the rest of Americans where they took the financial advice that everybody else has taken, the same old stale 401k, IRA, pay off your debt, the things that didn't work for my dad. You can actually do it differently. Speaking of my dad, I was talking to him just the other day. He said, Chris, I don't even understand your life. Like I had sacrificed and worked so hard for so many years. Like I really wanted to take care of you kids and make sure I even had a life later on, but now it's too late. Now I'm just living, but I'm not truly living, if you know what I mean. He's like, but you get to do the things that you want. Like you can even do that with your family and give them experiences that I was never able to give you as a parent. And that's true. And it's not about me bragging about that. It's just because he gave me he gave me the inspiration. He's the one that showed me the path. If I would have taken that traditional path, it wouldn't have worked. I chose something different and it did work. You could choose the same for yourself. If you want to learn what those things are, like and subscribe this video and stay on this channel. There's more here to help teach you what you can actually do to create passive income today so you can live healthy and free now.